Welcome back to Snickers and Prettycraft Season 3. I'm just battling back from that intro shot, and as you've probably noticed from said intro shot, things have changed a bit around the base. I would even go so far as to say things have changed quite significantly. So I just want to take you through all I've done in between episodes, starting with this cliff here. I made the entrance to the cave a little more interesting with the rock formations, and I've added a tree coming out the side of the path to get some of that overgrown feel that I want for the base. Next is the big boulder that my hut is sitting on. I found it way too flat and I tried to break it up with leaves, but it wasn't enough. So I added these big holes in the sides to make it look older and like eroded. It just gives the build a lot more personality, I think. This path does the same thing. Walking under the tree just feels so cozy. It did take a while to get the bottom of the tree to look just right, but I love how it turned out. And the atmosphere with the spore blossom just makes it all come together. Okay, so a new building trick I discovered, and I had a lot of fun with this, is using tough blocks and deep slates as shading for stone. I used this technique on the wall behind me and also on the cliffs below, and that along with some light texturing using andesite and rooted/coarse dirt, it gives a lot of depth to the wall that would be like flat otherwise. Then I did this staircase here, and I tried my best to make it follow the natural curve of the cliff, but it felt off and unnatural until I did the wall. And you can see I made pretty heavy use of the deep slate tough thing for shading. It just gives that depth, and it leaves room for some interesting details. Like these are supposed to be mushrooms. I really enjoy the color combinations of the warped wood and the bamboo. Gives it that damp fungusy vibe, and it matches the hut. So at first I was thinking I'd make the path curve left into the jungle and build the rest of the base there. But working on this staircase has kind of made me realize that having the whole base surrounding the bay would probably be like a lot more fun. So I curved the stairs this way instead. So now you're all caught up with the base progress. I think it came out great, and it's not a style I'm super used to, so I'm actually pretty proud of it. It's definitely made playing in the area a lot more enjoyable. But speaking of playing in the area, it's time to go somewhere else. Remember that air quotes prank Fred pulled on us last episode with the rails? Well, it's time to retaliate and escalate. I have an idea in mind, but I'm gonna need some materials for it. So let's make a quick trip to the shopping district. Alright, this is the place I need. This is Panda's shop, and Panda sells everything in here. Beacons, iron, gold, mud, you name it, he's got it all. And I need it all. So let me just grab a little bit of everything. And for the beacon, you know we gotta go with gold. There's just no way around it, yeah? I'm pretty sure he's got a crafting table upstairs so I can craft these into... Yep. Craft these into blocks to make space. Here we go. Let's just grab the rest. No space. Craft it again. Go back. Take it all. There we go. Let's not forget to pay, and that should be it. Nope. Let's grab the last couple blocks. There we go. Put this back in the valuables box. And okay, what do I need the beacon for? Well, this little prank that I want to pull requires a fair bit of terracotta, and we don't have a shop for it yet, so I'm gonna have to mine it all. And I don't want to do this with just regular tools. Luckily, I have this netherite pick that I also bought from Panda, because he had an extra one, and I lost all my stuff when I was AFK. Here we are. Took a while to find these badlands. Totally got lost in an ocean for like an hour. Okay, but I need a bunch of this stuff, so I'll set up a beacon and get like a shulker box full of it, and I'll dye it later as I need it. Alright, here we go. Oh. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's the sound. Oh yeah, that's the sound that we like. Listen to this. Isn't it just the best? It's like Minecraft ASMR. Shulker box is full. Time to wrap this up. Everything's been cleaned up. It's time to get pranking. Here we are at Fred's place, and it's time to find a use for all the cod that I've caught during my numerous hours of fishing. You see, Fred built his base in this beautiful and peaceful valley here, and he's done a ton of terraforming to make the terrain look absolutely beautiful. And I think it's high time someone disturbed that piece. What I plan to do is fill all his chests, and by that, I mean all his chests with cod, to a point where it'll probably be annoying to remove. Let's go for his house first. Oh, I see some chests. Let's fill all these slots with one cod. There, shulker boxes also definitely count. Easy, now let's look inside. Anything upstairs? Doesn't seem like it. Let's go back down. Ah, jackpot. Let's make sure every slot is filled. And put some in here. And here. And also here. Now that's every chest in the room. But, you spotted these furnaces on the ground? Whoa, plot twist. There's already cod inside. Doesn't matter, you get one too. And you, 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 and you. And that's this room done. Let's go search for another target, shall we? Okay, so Fred has a bone meal farm and a tree farm hidden in the mountain here. I bet they have a bunch of chests. Wait, what's happening here? Oh, shoot, shoot, shoot! Cod's getting destroyed! Cod's getting destroyed! It's an overflow chest. Okay, maybe we can't fill this one, but all the other ones should be free game, right? Just making sure we won't lose any more cod. Nah, it's good. Well, back up the stairs we go and to the tree farm. And at this point, you know the drill. Fill, fill, fill. Fred also has this bar near the lake, and it has a lot of decorative barrels. They were not spared, though it did cost a ton of fish. And lastly, I went into his subway station that's still under construction and filled those chests too for good measure. Okay. Every chest and furnace in this area, beautiful area by the way, super landscape. Yeah, every chest and furnace has been filled to the brim with cod. And now you're probably wondering, what was the deal with the terracotta? Wait, you hear that? My Pokemon knowledge is a bit rusty, but that sounds like a Clodsire. What? Whoa, what? When did you get here? He's massive! Look at the size of this chonker. Oh, you got attracted here because all of the cod. Let's get a better angle here. Look at his body. He's huge. Okay, but real talk now. I did not think it was going to be this big. I designed it in creative, and when you can fly around and place all the blocks you want, you really lose the scale of things. I had to destroy the wheat field and a bunch of the path to make it fit here. And that's the least amount of damage I could manage with this big boy. Like, he's so huge. And also, you gotta love Clodsire. He's such a goofy Pokemon. One of my favorite YouTube videos is the fan-made documentary Life of a Clodsire with AI David Attenborough's voice. It's absolutely hilarious. Let's take a good look at him with free cam. Yeah, I really like the result. the body proportions are a bit on the long boy side, but it is what it is. I think the face is still pretty recognizable as a Clodsire, so I'm proud of it. Now, of course, if Fred takes it down, I'm gonna offer to help. I'm not just gonna ruin everything and let it stay like this forever, don't worry. Okay, so this was a silly little fun little prank, but we should get back to some more serious-y buildy type project now. Welcome back. Like that little build montage? I like the little sit back and watch kind of vibe. So we're here in my creative testing world because I want to show you how the farm works. Because it's different from typical wool farms, and I think the mechanics by which it works are pretty interesting. So the way you typically make a wool farm is like this, where the sheep are individually placed in a little box, and each box is staggered so that you can fit them closer together without interfering with each other. So that's actually for two reasons. The first one is that if they weren't staggered and they were just side by side, the sheep would start moving between their boxes and they wouldn't each get their own grass block. And the second reason is because the way you trigger the dispenser is by using an observer to detect when the sheep eats. The observer powers the redstone behind the dispenser, and if they weren't staggered, the redstone would connect to itself like this instead of the dispenser. So I had to figure out a way around this because I really wanted to have the sheep side by side. And so what I found out recently is that you can completely encase the sheep in glass, and that actually solves all of the issues. So first of all, because they're completely encased, they won't move, but that's not the only benefit actually. So when they get sheared, since they're in the blocks, the wool can't spawn at their level, so it actually travels up the blocks and just ends up on top, where you can simply have a water stream carry the wool away. The only downside to this is that we can't use the observer into block with redstone into the dispenser method, so we have to use 3 observers to power the dispenser. That's kind of pricey, but it's absolutely worth it for the aesthetics. If you've ever done any mob relocation, you know how much of a pain it can be. Well, I've built 15 of these little pods so far. This is the last one. And after doing this 15 times, I've picked up a couple tricks. So let me show you. First of all, you want to block the extra space with filler blocks like dirt, so the sheep only has one space it can go into. Next, make sure you remove the lead. Then you can place the piston to push the glass blocks into the sheep. Go ahead and push 2 of those in there. And that's the easy part done. You have to remember to remove the lead before placing the glass because you can't remove it afterwards. And if you walk away while the lead is still on, you will dislodge the sheep out of the glass. You can go ahead and remove the temporary blocks now and go get another sheep. Okay, so before putting the second sheep in, you need to place a temporary block on top of the first sheep. And this is because when you dig out the dirt, the first sheep is going to try to pathfind to that open space. And since it's stuck, it'll jump and somehow break free of the glass. And that block prevents that. Now, to get the second sheep in, you want to be careful not to break both dirt blocks at once. Again, because when the first sheep sees that it can be not in a block if it just moved, it'll automatically pathfind there. So remove only one block and get the sheep in there. And now to remove the second dirt block, you can turn on hitboxes with F3 and B, and find that little space between the sheep and the wall where you can just reach if you're precise enough. And you'll see as soon as the block is removed, the other one tries to go there. But see now how they're colliding. The first sheep is not quite able to make it out of the block, and we can now push the glass in with a piston. Bloop. And that's it. We're done. You can just remove that temporary glass block, and this is it. The sheep will just stay there forever now. So that was the farm. I went ahead and hooked up the collection system, and I'll show you that in a minute. But as you can see, I changed the design of the pods a couple times during the build, and I ended up going with the wool walls, which I think just makes the most sense because you want to see what color sheep is in which pod. I hid the collection system right here behind my house, where the chest monster that you're not gonna look at resides. And bloop. Quick. Ouch. This is it. This is the collection system. It's nothing fancy really, I just sort them by color. If we take a look at the back, we'll find a water stream and a whole bunch of item filters. The honey here is used for alignment. Oh, and there goes an item right on cue. But yeah, that's about it for the collection system. Let's get out of here. And bloop. Okay, so there's still a bit of terraforming to do for this build to be considered finished. But that's gonna have to wait because I have another terraforming project that I've been meaning to do. And it's all about this path over here. When I made the path above the cave, I planned for it to go all the way over to the shopping district so I can get there by horse. That's that mountain over there. And yeah, so I want to make a path that goes from here to all the way here. And maybe later extend it to follow the river down to the shopping district over there. But that's going to be an absolutely huge build that I'm going to tackle probably over a couple of days. So, I'm going to throw you into a time lapse for the whole thing. Ready? Let's go! How nice is that? The vibe has completely changed around the base. With all these new additions, the sheep farm, the big stones, the pathway, the bridge, the cave, it makes it all come together. And the waterfront here, it looks so nice. Now I wanted the time-lapse to include everything, like the landscaping to this portion and around the bridge. Want to add a waterfall behind that. I didn't get to fit it all in the time-lapse. Like, it already took a couple of days doing that, so we'll have to do it another time. But yeah, I'm super proud of how it came out. Like, look at all of this. I've never done anything like it. It's so cool. Like, walking along the path here, it gives such a cozy vibe. And it's super immersive too. And then you get to the cave, and I know I sound kind of full of myself, but you gotta appreciate your own work, because if you don't, who will, you know? And then there's the bridge. Mind the gap, it's not integrated yet, but this bridge, it took a while to design in creative before bringing it here in survival. And I just love the color palette. It gives it a little bit of a Japanese vibe, which I think I might want to start spreading around the base a little more. I don't know. But yeah, so this is gonna be it for me today. This episode took so long to get out because I stopped playing for a while and I didn't really want to work on a video while I don't play the game, so yeah, I got no idea when the next one comes, but until then, have a good one. Okay, bye!